Well, howdy, Fort Bend. William Ferguson here, and I have a very special guest for you today. A special guest because this is a conversation you probably didn't think you needed to hear or ever wanted to have. Megan, welcome to Howdy, Fort Bend.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, my goodness. Your story blew me away the other day, and I was dying to get you here, and I'm so thankful you took the time. So, Megan, a lot of folks right now are just looking, oh, there's this redheaded lady on Howdy Fort Bend. They don't realize your potential impact to their families' lives. So
Yes.
the title of this is metal affecting your child, something to that effect. Tell us, what does that mean and what happened to you and your family?
Yeah. So it was about almost a year ago, last May. My daughter got braces, a few braces, and an expander in her mouth.
Which is natural.
Every kid gets
kids
it,
go-
right? She's in phase 1 of getting all of her things in her mouth and getting her teeth all straight. Well, within about a month, she started getting sick, but we didn't realize what was making her sick. And so she started having stomach pains. She started having what she would say is her chest was burning really bad.
Right.
And we discovered that a lot of it was acid reflux and what was going on.
How
But
old is she?
she's only 8.
8.
So at this time, she was actually 7.
Wow, 7 years old.
Yeah,
Keep
7 years
going,
old.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And she doesn't even know what acid reflux is, right? And so
Yes.
she's just saying burning and things, and we're confused and not understanding what's happening in her body. We take her to a pediatrician and they take blood. Well,
Wow.
lo and behold, it comes back that she has an allergy to eggs, wheat, and milk. And we thought, okay, this
All
is
of
it.
a sudden.
All of a sudden. Well, I mean, we had never done blood work before on her,
But she just got sick.
yeah, she had just
Okay.
gotten sick. So all of this came back in her blood work, and it was minor, very
Right.
low levels of allergies. But we thought, this is the
Okay.
ticket. This is what's upsetting her. Went to an allergist. They didn't do any skin testing, but they wanted her to just go on an elimination diet, essentially.
Sure.
So sweet little girl, Landry is her name, went off of all eggs, all milk, all wheat, and all soy.
Good gracious.
And if you're thinking, what the heck did she eat? That's pretty much what we did every single day.
I think you're left with chicken,
It
not
was
the egg.
really, really hard.
Right.
And she's probably the pickiest eater of
Oh,
all of my
my.
kids. So it was very stressful. It was a very
Okay.
stressful time for our family. I mean, her acid reflux improved a little bit. And so we thought, well, maybe if we continue on this journey. Problem is that the allergist just kept prescribing, every time we went in, kept prescribing just different medications that were masking the symptoms or trying to deal with
Sure.
the symptoms, but not really getting at the root
Common.
cause of what's going on. And we loved that she was feeling a little better with some of these medications, but at the same time, it wasn't actually dealing with what was really going on in her
Right.
body and getting down to why we were experiencing all of this.
Right.
And because I wasn't convinced that it was just the food, allergies, call it that mama gut kind of thing. But I just wasn't convinced it was the food allergies because we weren't seeing significant improvement,
Right.
even with the elimination of all of that. So all that, it was Christmas time that we kind of switched gears. We
Wow.
went to a holistic doctor.
Here
who-
locally?
No, it was actually on a Zoom call with somebody
Really?
in San Antonio.
Get out of here.
And we were on the phone call with her for maybe 45 minutes. And in 45 minutes, she said, holistic doctors, one of the things that they really do is look at the whole body, head to toe, right? And I mean, I had to send in dental records and all sorts of things before I
Wow.
could even meet with her. And when we were on the call, she said, I think she might be allergic to nickel. I was like, what do you mean allergic to nickel?
You're not even in the room.
Okay. And so she sent us a few natural, things for her to start taking that kind of help detox your body from metal. And she suggested we go ahead and test her to see if she was allergic to nickel or any other kinds of metals. So we went through the process of testing her, and I'll tell you how we did that in a minute. But within, a day of her being exposed to nickel on her wrist, she started itching and blistering and turning red.
Stop it.
And so I thought, okay, her mouth is full of metal. I wonder if braces and expanders and all of that have nickel in it. So started doing more and more research. and braces and the wiring that goes from brace to brace. And expanders are, even if it says stainless steel is made of nickel.
Like
There's
nickel plated, maybe.
Yeah, there's a percentage.
Wow.
You know, if you see stainless steel and it might be grade 18/10,
Right.
that 10 is nickel.
Oh.
And so we called the orthodontist, and they got us in, Johnny on the spot. They were awesome and got us in there. And they confirmed that there was nickel and titanium,
Wow.
and we had everything removed out of her mouth. And within 3 days, she was a normal kid.
Oh, well, how did that terrible time affect her education and everything else?
That was probably the hardest thing to watch, because
Yeah.
she literally was swallowing something that her body was trying to reject.
Yeah.
And so all of her body was working to fight this allergy that was
Wow.
just all day, every day in her body. And it's in her saliva. She's swallowing it down into her stomach, causing all the
awful.
acid reflux, the whole thing. But it really took a toll on her education, and she just couldn't focus on anything, right?
Sweet
It's the
thing.
brain
Sure,
fog.
Sure.
I mean, I feel like we really lost our whole fall semester of school for her.
Man.
I mean, thankfully she's only 8,
Yeah.
so we can totally make it up. But it was heartbreaking to watch. Even my in-laws, they live in Dallas, and they saw her at Christmas time. And by then we had not removed any of the metal yet. And then within maybe a month later, they came to visit, and they said that she was a new child.
Get
I mean,
outta
she
here.
her demeanor was more positive and more energy.
Well, she's not.
And she
She's
didn't have.
not sick.
I know, she wasn't fighting something in her body.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so we were completely blown away by all of it. So how we tested
That's
her.
it. Yeah.
If you can go to an allergist, but essentially they're just going to tell you that you have to have skin exposure.
Sure.
So Dr. Google is what I call my husband. He is a great Googler.
Right.
And he went on and started searching for metal tests that we
Yes.
could just purchase and online and do from home, because she had been in enough doctors' offices at that point.
Wow.
And we found this company called SensiBand, SENSI Band, BAND, SensiBand. And they started from a bunch of doctors that I think the main guy who founded it was a doctor that realized he ended up having a major allergy, I think, to metal.
Wow.
And something that, it was dental implants for him. That's what it was. Or fillings. There can be metal in fillings
Crazy.
too, which can make you really sick. And through all of that, he started realizing, hold up, I'm probably putting implants or hip replacements or knee replacements in my patients, and they might be allergic to it.
Without testing them first.
Without testing them first.
Wow.
And so he's created this whole line of wristbands, essentially. And then what you do is you get the kit that goes along with what implant you might be doing.
Right.
So we just ordered the dental implant with a hope and a prayer that would be the one, and it had nickel. And so it had nickel, aluminum, titanium, and then a really weird metal I don't even know how to
Who knows?
pronounce. And so we tested the nickel first, and she just wore it. I mean, even her tiny little wrist, it fit great. And within 24 hours, I mean,
Stop. Unbelievable.
complete, reaction to it. We just immediately took it off. We didn't even leave it on any longer. And then we tested the other metals, and she didn't react to those. It was totally fine. So
removing it, well, first identifying, then removing it.
That's right.
And they replaced it with what?
Nothing right now in her mouth. Yeah.
So she's okay.
Yeah,
I got you. Wow.
she was already done with the expander. They were just
Right.
leaving it in there as a placeholder until she started braces. But now we'll probably have to go to Invisalign.
Okay. Yeah.
and
Well,
just
hey, whatever
ditch
works,
the metal.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
whatever
yes.
works.
I mean, we're grateful that it's not so severe of an
Sure.
allergy that she can't touch it. It's just it was really making her sick because it was
Well,
on the inside of her
considering
body.
she's sick all the time, I would
Yes.
say it's pretty severe. So, what a story. So, what do you think the profession, if I may, it sounds like there's already some doctors that are dealing with that, but do you think it's going to become more common that they go there earlier? Hey, we're going to do this procedure and slap that on your arm before we do the procedure, or what?
Listen, I wish. I really hope that there are orthodontists and dentists and doctors that are realizing that allergies are just part of our life now.
Right,
I think
right.
a lot of it is probably a breakdown in just the
Sure.
strength of in
Sure.
awesomeness of our food. It's just not there anymore. And we're getting more sick, and we've got all these allergies. And you see it in our kids. I mean, how many kids have peanut allergy now, and this and that? It's so much more than what
How
our
many have
generation
metal
had.
allergies and we don't know it?
Oh, I mean, I had no idea, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Because she's never had her ears pierced, and so I didn't know.
You would've
Sometimes,
known that.
sometimes if you get your ears pierced and they have they use a cheap earring, that's how a lot of people discover it. So
That's awful.
it's just so wild. But I really do. I'm thankful for our orthodontist. They were absolutely amazing in immediately pulling everything. They even told me a story about how they had another patient that had braces for 3 years and had been sick for 3 years, and they couldn't figure out what it was until they finally realized that the glue in the braces had gluten in it.
Stop.
And their
No
child
way.
had a major gluten allergy.
I had
And
no
so-
idea it was in glue.
It is. It's crazy. So I think we're just at a turning point of really helping just the medical community in
Isn't that
general
something?
be aware that, man, we need to be testing kids, especially orthodontists. We need to be testing kids if they have metal allergies before we're putting all this in their mouth for
So,
years and years and years to come.
you're actually making me think you go further back than that. How hard is it to test for the metal? It's a little, right?
It was one little bracelet that
And
she
so
wore
what
for a
if
week.
what if it just becomes a commonplace as you're
Right.
10 years old? Just put this bracelet on, and you're going to know the rest of your life if you've got something you need to avoid.
Right. And so another thing that we're realizing
Wow.
is that stainless steel water bottles,
Cool.
Stanley water bottles are the thing here,
You are
right?
kidding
Everybody
me.
loves stainless steel water bottles, and we have a plethora, as I'm sure every family
Yeah.
around here does. And my daughter got a brand new Stanley for Christmas, and after we took everything out of her mouth, we realized about the stainless steel because there's nickel in there, and so we didn't have her use it for a while. And then when she tried using it again, it upset her stomach.
Wow.
Drinking the water that had been sitting in there all day
See,
at
people
school.
need to know that.
I know, it's crazy. So you start to think and realize, there's even a lot of, you hate to think about this, but there's metal traces in our processed foods because they're processed in metal plants, metal
sure.
containers and all of that. And they're so small, those
Yeah.
trace amounts. But I think it just builds up in it can build up
Wow.
in our body. And I'm not a medical,
No. Neither
person.
one of us are.
No, but this
But
is
I
just
don't like being sick.
our personal experience. Yeah. So she
Yeah,
is,
and so if you as a parent are seeing some of these signs, you heard a little bit from Megan, if you're seeing, tell your doctor.
Yeah.
All right. What if you would not have gone to the holistic doctor? I guess you would still have this in her mouth, maybe.
she would still be sick. She'd be on the next
Wow.
phase within 6 months of getting a whole mouthful of braces.
Wow.
And we would probably be dealing with this sickness for years. And
So should we say good work, Dr. Google?
yeah, oh yeah.
Doctor, now, did you say you were right? Did you say that to him?
no, I
No,
reserve
not
those
yet.
for really important
She's
moments.
holding out. You were right. That's awful. All right. Well, Megan, I can't thank you enough. It sounds like if someone needs a resource to learn more, do they just do a general Google, or is there some direction you could send them, maybe online or?
Sure. So I think the biggest thing is if you have put any kind of metal into your child's body,
Right.
whether it's through, I have a friend who had a metal implant in her hand,
Sure.
and then later discovered their allergy to
Wow.
metal, or expander, or braces, or any of that sort. And you've noticed a shift in their body, whether it be, skin reactions anywhere, how they feel, acid reflux, heartburn, anything like that, I think it's worth testing.
Yeah. Tell your doctor.
And tell your doctor. Number one, go to your doctor. Number two, you can order those Sensi bands.
Yeah,
it
Sensi band.
cost, one kit was $65 and it was delivered to my house.
And you just saved her youth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you can actually pass it on to the next
Wow.
person because it
Oh,
doesn't.
good point.
It's just a little metal
Yeah.
thing. And so it doesn't, use up,
I wonder if you
essentially.
can just tape a nickel on your arm.
I don't know. That is a Googleable
I'm not
thing.
suggesting that's a medical option, but
Right. And then so I would definitely get the bands and check that out, talk to your doctor. And then, if it needs to come out, it's worth it.
So this, and I know we're not here trying to, prop up a particular holistic doctor. It sounds like you found yours. How did you find your holistic doctor?
Through a friend. I think
Through
your
a friend.
community and your network is probably
Okay.
the best
Yeah.
place to find it.
Well, it sounds like they were thinking outside the box, and
Yes.
I'm not attacking the medical profession here or anything like that, but they're in the box.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to throw meds at it, and it took someone thinking a little different to
Yeah.
find it. Wow. Well, good.
Yes.
Hey, so thanks for sharing the story. I don't
course.
think everyone likes to share, the disappointments. But by doing this, you may have just made someone's life a lot better.
I posted this a few months back on
Yeah.
my social media and then in our neighborhood too. And the amount of people that
Wow.
messaged me saying, "Oh my goodness, my kid has been sick since they got braces.
Wow.
I'm going to get this test now." And then another friend of mine was able to trace back when she had a major autoimmune flare up when her child got braces.
Wow.
And then how it went away when they came out of her mouth. And then she was about to get a second round of braces. So thankfully they figured that
Yeah,
out and did Invisalign instead,
Yeah.
just because they were able to avoid
And,
it.
by the way, we're not here. We're not
Nope.
paid for by Invisalign.
No, but man, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, it had no metal. That's the key.
That's
yeah,
right.
Wow.
I mean, plastic, metal,
yeah, right.
there's issues with both, but
Hey, I wonder if there's plastic allergies also.
I have no idea.
Oh, here we go again. Hey, so Megan, thank you. You are certainly a bright light in our community. I recently got to attend an event that you're a part of, and I got to see your impact on our young men in this case, and it was something to see. And then you told me the story. I'm like, please come on the show, and let's just get this to anybody that will listen.
Absolutely. I hope
Yeah.
more parents hear so
Yeah.
they can help their kids feel better.
Wow. All right. Well, hey, I think I did something good bringing Megan to this one. So I hope you share this one. And as I say always, howdy Fort Bend, and I'll see you again.